Welcome to Fantasia, home of the Melodious. My name's Azallea, and today gonna be bringing you guys another post-duel commentary. Now this time, gonna be playing with my Cyber Angel Melodious deck. So looking at this opening hand, it is actually pretty good because I do have access to a Ritual Summon because I can use Preparation of Rites to search out for my Benten, and then I can Terraforming for a Ritual Sanctuary, discard my Instant Fusion to search for Machine Angel Ritual, and then go and summon my Natasha by attributing my Benten, and then Benten will be able to search and allow me to search out maybe Soprano or something I can use in conjunction with my cannon. But real quick, looking at what my opponent did on his turn, he set 2 cards and he attributed one of them, which was the Monarch's Erupt, for Ignis Heat, the true Draco warrior. And that just triggers something in me that just says, warning, warning, he might be playing Monarchs in conjunction with his True Dracos, because most True Draco decks play an extra deck, but this guy doesn't. So there's 2 options that he could be doing. He could be playing a Monarch hybrid with the monsters and everything like that, or he could just be playing, you know, the Monarch's Erupt and some other Monarch spell and trap cards as text to help with maybe consistency or some more oppressive features, like if he was running Domain. Domain would actually be a really good card to lock other people out of the extra deck while gaining advantage with your True Dracos. So I use the Ghost Ogre when he triggers his Ignis Heat because I really don't want to summon a larger monster to just attack over it with my cannon and my Soprano that I will search out. So because of that, I just activated Terraforming, baited out its effect, and then used Ghost Ogre, got rid of it so I don't have to deal with it you know, when I go into my battle phase. But then my opponent flips up the Waterfall of Dragon Souls and searches out for his Dynamite Knight. And then of course his Ignis Heat resolves and he gets to search one of the continuous True Draco spell cards. So now he has nothing on his side of the field, and he can't even tribute summon during my turn because he doesn't have any face-up continuous True Draco trap cards. So because of that, I'm able to safely go off and do exactly as I described earlier, searching out all of my ritual combo pieces so I can go for that ritual summon. Once Natasha's on the field though, everything should be okay because Machine Angel Ritual can protect her from 1 destruction by either battle or by card effects, and then I also have, of course, her innate ability to just negate anything, any of my opponent's attacks that target a ritual monster, including herself. So here, tributing Benten and using her effect to search out for my Soprano. Of course, Soprano Cannon being the main focus of this deck in terms of the Melodious side of things, and they allow us to go for rank 4 plays and to go for ritual plays. So here, I'm probably just going to attack for some damage before I go for a fusion or an XYZ play, although looking at the XYZs right now, there doesn't really seem to be any good options, at least against True Dracos right now. So what I would most likely do is go for a Shiberta during my main phase 2, and then gain life points, of course, with Natasha, but then the Shiberta will also allow me to clear my opponent's graveyard out of, you know, continuous spell and trap cards and of his True Draco monsters, so that once Dynamite Knight comes out onto the field and he, like, it just locks him out of the options that he has. If he has the return of the True Draco King or something like that, the other the trap card that's the Monster Reborn for their archetype, you know, they don't have anything to Monster Reborn because you banish all their monsters. And then if they do summon something like Masterpiece, they can't banish their spell and trap cards because there's no more continuous spell and trap cards in their graveyard for them to use Masterpiece's effect for. So that's kind of what I'm going for right here, just setting up to make sure that I have plays for my next turn. Now, of course, with my Benten in my graveyard, my Natasha can actually banish it, target one of my opponent's monsters, special summon herself from the graveyard, and take control of my opponent's monsters. So it's kind of like a snatch steal. So I do have that play lined up just in case something happens to Natasha. But also, my Ritual Sanctuary, I have 4 spell cards in my graveyard. So during my next turn, if it stays up on my side of the field and doesn't get destroyed, I can shuffle 4 spells back, summon Soprano from my graveyard, add Cannon from my graveyard back to my hand, special summon her, and then go for, you know, rank 4, whatever I need to overcome my opponent's board. But looking here, my opponent activates the card he searched out last turn, which is Disciples of the True Draco Phoenix. Now, the thing is, if he does tribute using this card, he can target 1 spell trap card on the field and destroy it, which he does right here. Tributes it for the Dynamite Knight that we know that he searched out with the Waterfall of Dragon Souls. So here, he'll be able to trigger the True Draco spell card that he just tributed, and then he'll be able to destroy my Ritual Sanctuary. Now, this is kind of bad for me, because it does shut down one of my options for next turn. It was basically one of my best recovery options for next turn, actually. So now I'm pretty much just banking on the Natasha play. So if he tries to attack Natasha, of course I'm going to negate it, but if he tries to attack my Shiberta, I will wait until damage calculation to activate her effect, so that I could boost her attack and then overcome his monster. I believe Dynamite Knight has 2,500 attack points, but please correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, he uses his Forbidden Chalice that I believe he drew for turn, because he didn't set it last turn, so he probably drew this for turn. Forbidden Chalice onto my Natasha, and then he's just going to attack into it, so that I can't negate, you know, his attack. But here, during damage calculation, I still activate Shiberta's effect, just to make sure that he cannot search off of his Dynamite Knight. Dynamite Knight, of course, cannot activate his effect during the damage calculation, while Shiberta can, because in order to activate effects during the damage calculation, you have to have something that modifies attack points or defense values. Anything that modifies those numbers you can activate during the damage calculation. So I do it with my Shiberta just so that it will be bigger than the Dynamite Knight, and I do not have to activate her effect later, like during his end phase or during my turn, which could trigger his effect and allow him to set, you know, a trap card from his deck, which would be bad, because if he had something like a Masterpiece in hand, he'd be able to tribute for it right then and there, and then I'd basically be in trouble. But the targets that I did banish with Shiberta were the monsters and the continuous spell and trap cards, to make sure that I free up his graveyard as much as possible of these potential threats down the line. Now here, I do activate Natasha's effect in the graveyard, and then I banish the Ben 10, and then I special summon her and take my opponent's Dynamite Knight, which is pretty good, because now if he did have a Masterpiece, I don't think he can tribute for it, because he needs 2 tributes. Correct me if I'm wrong on that too. I'm not really too familiar with the inner workings of the True Draco archetype, but anyway, he summons the True Draco Phoenix, the Wind True Draco monster, and I was able to gain a ton of life points. I have like 9,600 life points, and Tasha's just really great for just keeping you alive. But yeah, so now I have enough damage on board to actually just perfectly attack for a game. I bring him down to 3,500 life points, Natasha has 1,000, and then Dynamite Knight has 2,500, ending the game with his own monster. That's probably the best feeling that you can get. Doesn't get any better than that. So yeah, anyway, thank you all so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed it or found it helpful, please leave a like, subscribe for more Melodious content, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what I can do to improve. And until next time, take care.